Hey Paul, so I saw this geode shape that you're trying to get out of Easel, and I wanted to go through and kind of walk through a process to get that inside of Easel. Now, we're not going to be using Easel, we're actually going to be using Inkscape, which is a free vector editing software that is pretty easy to use. Also, I'm Brandon, if I haven't met you, by the way. This might actually be an Easel Live, so I do a lot of the training stuff over at Inventable. So we're going to be using a program called Inkscape. Like I said, it's free, you can download it, and it is vector. Now, it's open source, so sometimes it can be kind of slow depending on your computer, but for what we're doing, this shouldn't be too hard. You can just drag and drop these images in, which I have done. And you can see mine's kind of chugging real slow. But if you select the image, you come up here to, I believe it is under Path, Trace Bitmap. And this was just saved as a JPEG. And then I was playing around with some of the settings, but basically if you turn it to color quantization, which I don't really even know what that means. And for mine, I had these settings, but you can kind of adjust it as needed. I think as you make this go up higher, yeah, I think 1.34 is the highest it can go. The edges get a little bit smoother. So if I update it, yeah, you kind of see it update there. It's kind of hard to see, but hit OK. And once you do that, then you have this black shape that you can then, well, it's going to let me do anything. Let me delete the picture underneath it. So then you can move this around and you actually have this as a vector. Now, I did see some people mention where if you actually took a ruler or you had a measurement inside of the picture, then you could know how big this was going to be, so how you could scale it. But there's a couple different ways that we can do it. So now what I want to do is actually, I'm just going to make this a stroke. And so there's a stroke window over here. Yours might not be showing up. If so, you can do fill and stroke right here, which is Shift Command F on a Mac. And the fill, you can see it has a fill, and these are the colors. I'm gonna hit X because I don't want it to be filled, but I do want a stroke. So I'm gonna turn the stroke on, and then I want it to be a little bit thicker just for me. Okay, so we've got this, and what you could do if you did know like this dimension, like let's say you measured like from here to here, or from the top to the bottom, there's this little ruler tool over here. And sometimes it's kind of weird. But then depending on how you have everything measured, so then you can see that's 133 millimeters, and then you could go in and you could adjust the size to get it to the right size for your actual piece. But from here, we're just gonna save this out as a geode to my desktop. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and jump over into Easel. And inside of Easel, you can just go File, import an SVG, and then we got that Geode SVG, import, and then it brings it in. What is good about this also is, I think if you had kept it as like the shape as a fill, it still would have done the same thing. But if you double click, you can actually see all those vectors, and that's a single line versus it being two lines, making like a fill in the middle, which you don't want. So this is a single line. So what's helpful about that is, I forget what you actually wanted to do, but you can go in and you can do cut on the inside or cut on the outside of the path and make it work however you want it. And then you can go in here and do all your normal Easel stuff. Now, I think you also mentioned like maybe you want to do different sizes of that geode shape. I might be thinking of it wrong, but if so, you can copy. And then if you didn't know, you can go to the shape menu and then you can adjust stuff. So you could like lock down the proportions. And let's say you wanted to go up to 4 inches, and then you get one that's proportionally bigger like that. And then you could even go in, select both of them, line them up. And then let's say you wanted to put this at the very middle of this workpiece. And this is what, 8 by 12 inches. So if you go to the position with both of them selected, select the middle, and this would be middle of 12 would be 6, and then 4. And so then that drops it right in the middle of whatever you want to work with. So hopefully that is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will see you more in the forums. All right, see ya.